And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
classic. Time.
Hey everyone, Alex back again with another video. This time I'm going to do my response to the Hip Hop Vinyl Tag 2021. Tim over at Heining's Vinyl started this off. And funny story, I actually had my own version of this planned out and I had the video recorded and I was going to upload it within the next couple of days. And then Tim uploads this video as I'm recording this, he's already got quite a few views, so I thought I might as well just do Tim's version. And because the questions are quite similar anyway, so I figured I might as well jump on this. There's been a few genre based vinyl tags going around. You've had the jazz one, there's been a country one, there's been a blues rock one, and I've not been able to participate in any of them because there's been a handful of questions in each one I've not been able to answer. Well, the country one I can't do because I really don't have a lot of country, but hip hop I can do, and that's why I was going to do this vinyl tag. I was going to do my own version of it, and then Tim did it, and I was like, I'll just do Tim's version. It's cool. But yeah, anyway, let's get into this, because Tim is a good buddy of mine, so I don't mind supporting Tim and his channel and any tags he might want to do. So yeah, let's get straight in to the video with the first question, and that is your first hip hop purchase. I'm going to have to do my first hip hop album purchase because I do not remember what my first 12 inch was, if I bought a 12 inch before this anyway. But my first hip hop purchase that I can remember, first hip hop purchase is Public Enemy's It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. This is a 2014 repress of their 1988 album, their second album. Not my favourite my second favourite Public Enemy album, second only to Fear of a Black Planet, which I wish I had an OG copy of, but I don't. But this is a really, really nice album. It's got Bring the Noise, Don't Believe the Hype, Terminator X, To the Edge of Panic, Show 'Em What You Got, Night of the Living Bassheads, Black Steel and the Hour of Chaos, Rebel Without a Pause, Party for Your Right to Fight. Just an incredible album from front to back. And for a hip hop album, it's a must have. So obviously, I don't mind the fact that this was my first hip hop purchase. So yeah, there it is. Public Enemies, Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Question 2. An 80s hip hop album. Could have gone with a few here, but I've decided to go with one that I had actively hunted out. The only album I think I have been actively seeking out for a while. If I want to put my tongue back in, that'd also be great. Teeth? Is it teeth?
Yeah.
Well, that's
If you want to put your teeth back in, that'd be great, is what they're saying.
yeah, that's...
Sorry.
No, that's what I meant. If I could put my teeth back in, that'd be great as well.
Sorry.
Young MC's Stone Cold Rhyming. This is the only 80s hip-hop album I was actively seeking out. Any others, I've either gone out my way and bought them online, or they've come through the shop I work in and I've snagged them up for myself. I love 80s hip-hop. I probably know a little bit more about 80s hip-hop than 90s hip-hop. So obviously, yeah, I had to go with this. It's just about 80s because it came out in 1989. But Bust a Move was the big song on here, and then Know How was a big song on here, and also features in the movie Baby Driver, which, if you know me, is one of my favourite films. Yeah, this is just an incredible album from start to finish, and I'm so glad that I finally have this. Or, well, when I grabbed it, I was so happy with it, and I actually only found this last year as well, I think. But what an incredible album this is, and I believe I was seeking it out for about 3 years till it came from my hands. But yeah, never bit the bullet on it, and it finally came through the shop I work in. So snagged it, and there it is. I'm super stoked about this one, and yeah, this I had to show it for my pick for the 80s hip hop album. Moving on to the question 3, a 90s hip hop album. One that it's one that I was gonna bite the bullet on an original on at one point, and then they announced the repress, and I was like, I'll just wait for the repress because I bet it'll sound good, and I was right, it does. That's Cypress Hill's Black Sunday album. Originals of this fetch for crazy money. And of course, it is one of my favourite 90s albums, being produced by DJ Muggs. And then Be Real's lyricism here is also really good. Pretty stellar. My favourite Cypress Hill album, one of my favourite albums of all time. I think I put this in my top 100. I'm pretty sure. If I didn't, it was an honourable mention, and I really should have put it in my top 100 because I love this album to pieces. There is not a bad track on it, and it shows. But what an incredible album, and I'm so glad it finally got a repress after came out in 93. And this is the repress from 2018, so there's the gap between the two pressings. But yeah, finally have this. Super stoked, and that's my pick for a 90s album. May not be my favourite 90s hip hop album, but it's certainly up there as being one of my favourite hip hop albums. I just love it that much. So yeah, that is Cypress Hill's Black Sunday. On to a 2000s or later album. And yeah, one album that really stuck with me over the past over the last like 5-6 years since it's been out is Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly album from 2015. The whole summer after this album came out, I will tell you, I played nothing else. This album really impacted me in a big way when it came out, and I wasn't just living on a hype because it was Kendrick Lamar. I genuinely really loved this album to the point where I remembered every single word on the album. Not so much now, but I really do think this album is incredible and one of the best from the last 5 years or so. And what a great album. It's got George Clinton, Thundercat featuring on it, Bilal, Snoop Dogg, Rhapsody, Ronald Isley features on here. Just an incredible album from start to finish. And like I said, it really impacted me in a big way when it came out. So that's why I had to show it. And it also leads into question 5. A label you associate with hip-hop, because this came out on the Top Dog Entertainment record label, which has produced not just some of my favourite like albums of all time, and also they have some of my favourite modern rappers of all time on the label. Like you've got this one, Pimp a Butterfly on there, J-Rock was on that label, I should say, Schoolboy Q is on that label. So yeah, you can see I really like Top Dog Entertainment as a record label, and I think they're having some incredible stuff. I could have gone with Def Jam, but they had a few soul bits later on. Stones Throw, but again they've also got some R&B stuff on there. This is probably the one label that I always refer to with hip hop when it comes down to it. Is because anything on this label when it comes to hip hop, I will grab it because I know it's all going to be incredible. So yeah, had to. That's my pick for a record label that I associate with hip hop. Question 6: a hip hop single. So it could be a 7-inch, a 12-inch, a maxi single. It doesn't CD maxi single, doesn't matter. For this, I've decided to pick the most recent hip hop single I've acquired, and that's Jay-Z's A Hard Knock Life, or Hard Knock Life. One of my favourite Jay-Z tracks. I didn't have 8 Jay-Z 12s, and I really only have one album, so I should really sort that out soon. But Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life, one of my favourite songs from him, obviously with the famous Annie sample, and also produced by the 45 King, which is incredible. So there's a hip-hop single. I could have picked any single, really. I have a lot of these for my DJing when I'm DJing, because there's not a global pandemic on. But yeah, I have quite a few, and I just decided I'll just go with the most recent one, because it'll be easier than trying to just pick one. A female MC. I was so close to picking Lisa Lopez from TLC, but I realised I don't really have that much TLC to show you, and there is one female MC that impacted me in a massive way, and you know, she really does. Even though she hasn't really made a lot of music, anytime I listen to her, I feel myself just vibing, and really enjoying her stuff. And that's Lauryn Hill. She was also a part of the Fugees for one album. They split, and then she did an album, and I think she kind of disappeared off the face of the planet because she hasn't really done much. Wyclef Jean's done more stuff than what she has. But yeah, Lauryn Hill, really, really good female MC. Probably one of the biggest, even still today. Even though she hasn't done a lot of music, she definitely comes under, you know, one of the biggest. And when it comes to female MC, she's one of the first that people name. So I had to, you know, I'm happy to show her as my pick for that question. Number 8, an artist we lost. Guru. This is his album Jazzmatazz. Guru is one of my favourite rappers of all time. And so the fact that we lost him many years ago still hits me. And this is easily a very good album. Originally from 93. But a jazz influenced album. Every sample is from a jazz record, and there's even some jazz musicians featuring on this album, like Donald Byrd, Lonnie Liston Smith, MC Solo features on it, Courtney Pine features on here, Roy Ayers. So yeah, just an incredible album. And it's a shame we lost Guru so soon, but yeah, he had a great career ahead of him, and really do wish that Guru was still with us, because we would have so many more Gang Starr albums, we'd have had so many more Jazzmatazz albums, and this is just one I really wish. I'm so glad to have this reissue because it sounds great, but another one I would love to have an original copy of. I'm not going to hold out for one because I've already got this one. Yeah, Guru, shame we lost him. I mean, we've lost a few of my other favourites recently, like DMX. Shame we lost him, but yeah, Guru still one of my top MCs of all time, so I had to show him. A posthumous release is question 9. Another one that I was at college when Phife Dawg passed away, and then a few months after his passing in March, this album came out. I think it came out in like December, maybe. So not too long of a wait after, but still quite a bit. I really enjoyed this album. It's political. It's a strong album. And it's a good way to send off such an awesome MC. So yeah, had to. So happy with this album. It could have gone either way for me. It could have really sucked, but luckily the album is great. So yeah, a great send off for Phife Dawg there. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. On to question 10, your favourite producer. If you know me, it's no question my favourite producer is DJ Premier. This is just his remix album, which I have again for DJing, but he's worked with so many people. Guru, again with Gangstar. He produced KRS-One, he worked with Nas, he worked with Group Home. So many. Jerry the Damager he produced. Just so many big names, and although this is his remix album, I do have some of the albums he produced, but I decided to pull this because it was just easier. DJ Premier, absolutely incredible. Like I said, he's my favourite producer. I could have gone with Dilla, I really could have, but DJ Premier has always been my favourite producer, so he had to take the edge over Dilla, but Dilla and Dre, Dr. Dre even was so close to being there, but I had to go with Premier. Question 11, an artist you have at least 3 albums of. There's only really a handful of artists I could have gone with here, and I decided to go with LL Cool J. This is his album Walking with a Panther. I also have Mama Said Knock You Out, and I have Bigger and Deffer. I wish I had Radio, because his first 4 albums are all really incredible. This is one that I really, really enjoy. In fact, like I said, his first 4 albums are incredible. He doesn't make much music anymore because he's now mainly acting, mainly on NCIS LA. But yeah, he's still a wicked rapper. And yeah, LL Cool J, one of my favourite old school rappers. One I wish I had more stuff from, but I'm happy that I have the 3 albums that I have. So awesome, LL Cool J, Walking with a Panther. Question 12, a posse cut. So, a song where a rapper's brought in all their friends on the track. And,
I thought you said pussycat. I was like, a what?
A posse cut. So yeah, a song where a rapper has brought in all of their friends onto a track. And I nearly went with Eminem and a song he did with D12 on one of his albums, but Eminem's coming up later in a bit, so I decided to go with the next best thing on my list, and that is Raekwon with the song Wu Gambinos off of his Only Built for Cuban Links album, and the song features Ghostface Killah, Method Man, RZA, and Master Killer, all the other members of Wu-Tang Clan, along with Raekwon. This is my favourite Wu solo album for sure, one that I've always loved and appreciated, and this is just a killer album, and so yeah, had to go with it. And it's also produced by RZA as well, of Wu-Tang Clan. So that just shows you, but yeah, incredible album, and that's my pick for the posse cut. Wu Gambinos by Raekwon. Okay. A song everybody knows. I went with obviously I went with a really obvious one, but one that, even when I play it now, people still say all the words to it, and that's Forgot About Dre by Dr. Dre. In fact, I could play What's the Difference, I could play Still DRE, I could play The Next Episode, and people still know all the words. But that is what I've gone with. I've gone with Forgot About Dre by Dr. Dre, just because, well, it's a really obvious one, and everybody knows it, so there it is. Dr. Dre's Forgot About Dre. Okay, your favourite MC. Do I even have to say anything here?
What's MC? Is it a rapper?
Yeah.
Oh.
Eminem is my favourite MC or rapper. This is his most recent album, Music to Be Murdered By. He has just released the B-sides on vinyl, which is going to hopefully will be my next Eminem album to get hold of, because there's some great stuff on that as well. But this is incredible. Obviously, he's copied the. This is. I will make a bold statement here and say this is his best album for a very long time. His last album before this, Kamikaze, was just okay to me. Revival was a crock of shit. Sorry. Excuse my language, but it really was. There's maybe one good track on it. The rest of the album sucks. But this is easily his best album in like the best 10 in the last 10 years. And it came out last year, so that just shows you anything really. But what an album it is. What an album it is. It's got a modern sound, and Eminem's controversial lyrics once again coming into play here, because he's always controversial. He always gets people talking, and yeah. A lot of people said his career would be over after this, because he does reference the Manchester bombing that happened at Ariana Grande concert, but I just think it's Eminem being back on top form with his lyrics and just not holding back. So there it is, Eminem. Plus the lyric ain't that bad anyway. The event is, but the lyric that he used wasn't anything to completely halt his career altogether.
We'll have to listen to it next, we want to know what he says.
Hey?
We'll have to listen to it next, we want to know what he says.
Yeah, I'll play it in a minute. And finally, the final question is your favourite hip-hop album. And once again, it's an Eminem album. It's the Marshall Mathers LP. Always has been my favourite hip-hop album. It's not the first album I heard from him, but it's always been the one I've loved the most. From Stan to The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, I'm Back, Drug Ballad, love that song, Criminal, just incredible stuff. Love this album from start to finish. So yeah, this is my favourite hip hop album, and one I will always treasure to my dying day. So yeah, there it is. So that's my response to the Hip Hop Tag Final Tag 2021. Guys, thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.